I made the Olympic team in 1955. It was right after the Second World War.
The year was 1945, and Marvin Melville was 10 years old. It was the year the greatest adventure of his life would begin, with the help of his father.
We went down to the Army and Navy surplus store down on State Street, and we bought boots, skis, and poles for both of us. He bought them for both of us. Yeah, so that's the way it all started.
But that first year on the slopes was not what he expected.
I didn't like it in the beginning at all. But after probably less than a year, I got to be kind of fun. But we couldn't turn. They were big, they were long skis, 7'3" skis on a 10-year-old.
Marv and his father started at Alta, which at that time had one of the few ski lifts in the country.
You know, back in those days, a lift ticket was what, $3.25? And we'd ski all day long and see how many, they punched your lift ticket and see how many rides you could get. So we'd stay all day there when we could. My dad was, for some reason, interested in trying it. He's kind of an adventuresome guy, and so he took me, which was fortunate.
More fortunate than he could have ever imagined. From that first uneventful year, Marv went on to ski for Granite High School, the University of Utah, and the Army. Then in 1955 came his big break, a spot on the 1956 U.S. Olympic team in Cortina, Italy.
What did that mean to you?
Well, that was a huge deal. They selected 8 men, and I think there were only 2 or 3 of the 8 that were from the West. Only 4 people can start from each country, and I was lucky enough to be one of the 4. And in that particular race, I fell down and broke my 7'3" skis and tore the bindings off of them, so I couldn't continue. But most of the people in that race fell down, so it was interesting. They didn't have enough snow.
In 1959, Marv won the NCAA title in the slalom and downhill events with Utah. Then came his second invitation to the Olympic Games, this time in Squaw Valley, California in 1960.
Ended up 22nd in the downhill race there, which was very disappointing to me. Disappointing enough that I quit ski racing. Couldn't handle the pressure. It was a good time for me to move on. These medals are replicas of the
Marv returned home and helped form the Alpine Training School and coached part-time with the University of Utah.
These are all local guys. These are 3 Norwegians.
But the Olympics called again, this time
Katie Rudolph.
He coached the U.S. women's team in 1964.
There were some really good skiers then. There are great skiers now, with Michaela Schifrin winning her 100th. But on the team, the 64 team, Gene Saubert won 2 medals, which people probably don't even remember. This is the Intermountain Hall of Fame, which is up at the Olympic Park. This is down in South America.
Marv's career is well documented, with dozens of scrapbooks and videos to share with his 5 daughters, 29 grandchildren, and 54 great-grandchildren, many of them learning to love the sport as well.
Well, looking back, it was exciting. I'm glad they had the experience, but I think, as with most athletes, you're always frustrated because you didn't do better or could have done better, or whatever the circumstances. Silver and a bronze and another silver. I've had a lot of opportunities to do a lot of things.
Things like the Masters circuit, where he raced for over 20 years. He also ran part of the torch relay for the 2002 Utah Winter Games. Throughout his long career, Marv has been relatively healthy.
Marvin Melville, his signature style.
He does have 2 new knees and a hip replacement, but a recent battle with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma and chemotherapy sidelined him for many months.
I barely walk after 18 weeks of that, but now they tell me that it may take you 18 weeks to get back. So, but you'll probably never get back to where you were, but as long as you can function and move around and enjoy things.
What Marv enjoys today is getting up to the mountain as early as possible.
Okay, are we ready?
Now 90 years of age, like years past, he still likes to be one of the first on the hill.
How are you feeling physically?
Feeling old but functional. I can still do a lot of things. I can ski and pretty active.
Skiing has been a family affair for the Melvilles ever since he put on that first pair of 7-foot 3-inch wooden skis. Today, he's celebrating 80 years since that first day at Alta, 8 decades since his great adventure began.
It's been a good life. I'm happy with it, other than that you just don't like the setbacks in health that happen to everybody. But it's a good life. My wife died a year ago, and that's another adjustment to life, but everything's working fine.
For Beyond the Game, I'm Kathy Aiken for KSL.com.